I've noticed something lately. Every morning, before I even sit down at my computer, before I open Counter-Strike, even before I check YouTube analytics or think about views or subscribers or my falling Premiere rating, there's this tiny moment where I just stand still in the kitchen with my coffee. Sometimes I'm looking out the window, and for a few seconds, my brain is quiet. I don't feel pressure, there's no overthinking, and no fear about the future, just silence. Those moments have become really important to me, because life has felt very loud for a long time now. Not like the noises you hear, but more like mental noise, thoughts who never stop, the constant worrying and constant questioning myself. Questions could kind of be like, am I wasting my life? Will this ever work? What if I fail? And what if I'm not good enough? And the thing about depression is that it doesn't just make you sad. Oh boy. I wish it was that simple. Depression changes how you experience time and how you experience yourself. Some days you wake up and even small things feel heavy. Answering messages, taking a shower, opening a game and recording a video. Those can be exhausting. Things that used to feel normal suddenly feel like work, and I don't think people talk enough about how strange that feels, especially as an adult. Because if you think about it, when you're younger, people expect you to struggle a little. You're still figuring life out in a way. So that's just part of the learning curve of life, in my opinion. But when you're older, people expect stability. You should have direction, confidence, and control. And when your life doesn't look like that anymore, you start feeling disconnected from everyone around you. Like everyone else received a manual for adulthood that you somehow missed completely. And I think that's part of why I started this channel in the first place. Not because I thought, oh hey, I'm gonna become a massive creator. Honestly, I don't even think I believe in myself enough for that. I think I just needed something to hold on to. Something to wake up for, improve at, and something to care about again. And somehow, that became Counter-Strike, the game that has followed me since 2004. And when I say this out loud, it still kind of sounds ridiculous, because if someone told me, let's say, 10 years ago, hey, listen up, at 37 years old, you're going to sit at home trying to build a life around Counter-Strike, and then it's gonna be Counter-Strike 2 and YouTube. I probably would have laughed. Or maybe I would have been terrified. Maybe both. Because this wasn't the plan. I don't think most people imagine their life becoming something like this. You imagine stability, a normal path and security. But life doesn't always move in straight lines. Sometimes life slowly pushes you into corners you never expected to stand in. And suddenly you wake up one day realizing, I don't even recognize myself anymore. That's honestly how the last few years have felt for me. Like I slowly drifted away from myself without even noticing it happening. Because you keep functioning, but internally you feel empty. And the scary thing is how normal that emptiness can start to feel after a while. Because you stop asking, or maybe you don't ask, am I happy? But you kind of ask yourself, how do I survive this week? That's a very different way to live. And I know some people watching this probably understand exactly what I mean. Maybe more than they'd ever admit out loud. And the weird thing is, Counter-Strike, at least for me, Counter-Strike became one of the few places where my brain actually managed to relax for a while. Not completely, but enough. Because when you're in a match, you don't really have time to think about everything else that's going on. You just focus on the things that are happening in front of you. For instance, how's my positioning? What utility should I buy this round? Or I need to work on clearing corners. And for a little while, your mind stops attacking itself. That feeling became and is really important to me. Not because I wanted to escape reality forever. That's not my idea with this at all. But because I needed moments where reality didn't crush me completely. And over time, this game slowly became more than just a game to me. It became structure in my life. Something to improve at. Something that's actually measurable. And honestly, when your mental health is bad, that matters a lot more than people realize. Because depression destroys all momentum. That's one of the hardest parts about it. You stop believing your actions matter. You stop believing improvement is possible. Because everything feels pointless before you even start, and you don't have energy to start. So when you finally find something that gives you even a tiny sense of progression again, you hold on to it hard. That's kind of where this channel was born. It just took me a lot longer to realize this myself. And it's not from confidence, not from ambition. But this channel was born out of desperation mixed with a tiny glimpse of hope. Which is a strange combination, to be honest. Because part of me is thinking, this is stupid, this will never work. But on the other side, I kind of hear this tiny whisper that says, but what if it does? And that tiny little what if became and is enough to keep going. And my first videos, they weren't very good. Some still aren't. But I keep posting anyway. Because when I feel like I'm actually reaching someone with my videos, those moments is what keeps this dream alive to me. I can't fully explain how much comments from you guys mean to me. Because when you feel disconnected from life for a long time, human connection starts feeling incredibly valuable. Not attention, but real connection. There's a difference there. I don't think I want to become some huge, untouchable internet personality. I think I just want to build something honest. A place where people can show up after a rough day and breathe a little. That's why I started calling this channel The Shelter instead of Memphis. Because that's generally what I wanted it to feel like. Not just another content channel. I want it to feel like a place and a feeling. Somewhere calm, where you can be you. And no, I do not always feel positive. Some days I feel completely lost. Some days I look at my analytics and feel like giving up. And some days I compare myself to bigger creators and immediately feel behind in life again. Some days I actually watch people who succeed and I think, what's wrong with me? And maybe that sounds dramatic, but I think more people feel that more than they admit, especially online. Because the internet constantly makes it look like everyone else is winning. Everyone else is growing, they are confident and they know exactly where they're heading. And at the same time, you're sitting there wondering if you're quietly falling apart while pretending to function normally. That feeling is exhausting, and I think that's part of why I started talking more openly in my videos. Because I got tired of pretending everything was fine all the time. I do not want pity, I don't want that at all. I just wanted to be honest. I think the internet desperately needs more honesty. because there's fake perfection on every corner, and you can easily find motivational nonsense videos wherever you look. But to find real people trying, I kind of think that's rare. And I honestly believe that's enough, because trying is hard already. Right now, my goal in this game is to reach 20k in Premiere. And after losing so many matches lately, in a row actually, de-ranking to below 14k MMR from almost 19k, I decided to go back with my content for this video and share my thoughts instead of needing to actively comment what I do in-game. Because I want to focus on both my gameplay, but also what this journey is all about. Because whether it's Counter-Strike or life, improvement is never linear. Some days you frag out, other days you look completely lost and your confidence disappears for no reason. And sometimes the only thing you can do is to queue again. And that's life too, in a way. Because most people are just trying again over and over while hoping things eventually click into place. And maybe that's what rebuilding actually is. It's not this giant breakthrough moment. It's just repeatedly showing up. Whether you're unsure, tired, or if your brain tells you nothing matters, you show up anyway. And lately I think I'm finally starting to understand that. I don't know where this journey leads. I really don't. Maybe this channel becomes something meaningful. Maybe it stays small. Maybe it grows slowly for years. I have no idea. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm at least moving towards something instead of just surviving. And honestly, that feeling alone changes a lot. So if you're watching this, thank you. Seriously. Whether you're here because you love Counter-Strike, or because you relate to feeling lost, or because you're quietly trying to rebuild something in your own life too, I'm genuinely, oh, that's a hard word to say, let's try again. I'm glad you're here. This channel is still growing. This whole thing is still messy and unfinished. But maybe that's okay. Maybe life doesn't need to be perfectly figured out before it becomes meaningful. Maybe sometimes you just need something to fight for again. See you in the next one. Thanks for listening and watching.